Hello, my loves. If you are a woman who is going through a really tumultuous time in your marriage, where you and your partner's intimacy has dropped, where you have been in your hypermasculine, and perhaps where it's come to a point where your disconnect from your feminine, your sensuality, your sexuality, your capacity to receive your man has surmounted to a point where his loyalties have slid, where he has either had an affair or he's moving towards that, and you feel like your relationship and your marriage is literally crumbling and it's about to cost you your entire marriage. I want to invite you to listen in to this beautiful talk we're going to have today with a sister who went through SEM. This is a beloved client of mine who came in because she was in a wonderful marriage for years, but before she joined us, she had really fallen into a very hypermasculine state. And she had felt the disconnect in her feminine, in her sensuality, in her connection to God, and her connection to Source. And ultimately, the reflection of that was that her husband had had an affair. She came in very broken, wanting to piece together her own self confidence, her own connection to her sensuality, to get to the root of what caused the actual affair to happen, and also recultivate intimacy with herself and her partner. So, if you are at that place right now in your journey or anywhere near it, and you're wanting to know exactly how to connect back to your feminine so that you are in a relationship that feels fulfilling, where you're feeling open, where you're feeling in your turn on, please listen in to our beautiful sister Tin, who's about to come in and share her exact journey and exactly how we got her to being confident, alive, orgasmic, and having the tools to navigate a major life crisis in her relationship to be back in her power and her full truth. Okay, my darling, we are officially welcoming our beautiful Tin. Darling, share with us about you, a little bit about where you are, where you're from, what you're doing. Introduce.
Yeah, I am a 32-year-old mom of two, and I have a business called Tin Creative Media. So basically, I hired like freelancer and then get clients for and assist them with their businesses. And recently I took a step back because of what's happening in my life.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay, also beautiful to hear like mama, business owner, full boss babe, also had to take step backs because of what had kind of occurred in your life. And that's kind of what I would love us to drop into. I would love you to share if you're open to where you were before you joined into SEM. What kind of prompted you to come into this space? What was happening in your life?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with depression and everything in my life like started collapsing one by one. So my business had to take a step back, like I mentioned, because like I could barely function. I was constantly in survival mode. I lost taste with sexual pleasure. Then my husband cheated on me, and that completely shattered me even more. And I also started disconnected from people around me. I genuinely thought this was going to be my reality forever because I didn't know how to escape it anymore. I feel like I've already tried everything. I was the good girl, the one who never asked for more, the one carrying all the pressure of life, thinking it would make people love me and respect me more. But that wasn't the case. So I started asking myself, then what is?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. And thank you so much for sharing because I know, especially for a lot of women, right? It's such a reality for many of us in our early 30s, right? It's like we've built this career, we've got the husband, got the kids, we've pushed, and then your nervous system, your capacity just completely caves in, and you end up with no sex drive, depression, wondering like what is the point? And of course, you experience such a major challenge then inside your marriage too, with your husband basically going off with someone else. And that was really like if you're open to share, like, how was that making you feel? Like, where were you at then emotionally and mentally with yourself?
I can say I lost myself completely. Like, I feel like I'm in this dark place and I don't know how to. I know there gotta be a way out, but I don't know how.
Mhm.
I just don't know. Like, I feel like I'm inside a well, a deep well. I can see the light, I can see the exit, but I don't know how to climb up.
Yeah.
It's so dark, and I even want to kill myself. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when you first joined in, I was like, wow, like, and it's interesting. And I guess that's also part of like my journey too, because I started in such a dark place that there's this like encapsulating experience of like, I just don't know how. And especially if you can kind of see a light, it's like, oh, but you're in it,
Yeah.
right? How did you find that affected your sex drive and just like your general like juiciness, orgasmic potential, your like feminine? How was that being impacted?
Don't like we don't do it anymore. I guess like we do it once a month just to just to fulfill my responsibility as a wife. But I don't really like feel it anymore. I want to. I wanted to, but I just can't. And all in my mind is survival. Like, how will I make things work? How do I pay my bills? How do I make my business work? And I am so guilty being a mom. The mom guilt. I feel like I'm not enough as a mom. I'm not enough as a wife. I'm not as enough as a daughter and as a friend. So what's the point of living?
But also just firstly, thank you for sharing so vulnerably. And what a crazy place to be in. And honestly, I feel like there are so many women who are in that place. And it's like you've done it all and you're at zero, and then you're just not enough in your own mind, but it feels like it's being reflected by everyone else around you. Because we always say it in SEM, right? Like the world becomes your mirror, like the masculine mirrors your inner polarities, your life becomes this like reflection of what's happening inwardly. I'm super curious to know. Obviously, now we've been working together for some months and you've been in the space and you've been going through it, and we're almost at the end of our cohort. But where are you right now? Like what has been happening for you since you've been in SEM?
Yeah, I mean, Sensual and like Sam came into my life, and honestly, it literally saved me from suicide and misery. Because, for the first time, I stopped trying to fix myself because I always think there's gotta be something wrong with me. So I stopped doing that, and I stopped controlling, or at least trying to control everything that's outside of me. Instead, I started getting to know myself deeply. I learned my love language, my patterns, my tendencies. I started doing simple practices like shaking, self-touch, connecting to the divine. I've never been so like consistent in doing my devotion, but it's crazy that you teach us how to do it consistently. And yeah, dating myself weekly and those things literally became my CPR. They brought me back to life. um I started making bold moves like renting my own space. I started standing firm on my values and boundaries, and ironically, that's when my husband became more devoted than ever.
Wow.
And yeah, I was able to genuinely forgive him and reconcile with him in a place of respect, like self-respect, instead of fear
Wow.
on being alone, or a lot of fear comes from like divorce, right? But yeah, and I naturally glowed up. I lost 10 kilos,
No,
and
mm,
like everyone around me is telling me how glowing my skin look. Can you see?
Heal your
Yeah.
bones. I'm always like, that part of SEM is so important. And we're going to unpack a bit here, but yes, continue.
Yeah, and I also met new people who truly aligned with me. And my family also started respecting my boundaries, which actually brought us closer than ever because we don't show feelings, we don't have really that deep relationship. But because of this, because I can communicate consciously, yeah, it brought us closer. Also, money started flowing more naturally. I
Wow.
started traveling more. I I remembered before I was working like crazy. I was working so hard to the point of burnout. And it's no surprise that I fell into depression because of that. But everything still feel heavy and stiff, when it comes to money. Now I work less, but I don't know, money feels more abundant now, which is crazy. And most importantly, I recently started pursuing a dream I've always had for myself since 2018. And I don't know why. I I didn't started it soon, but yeah, it's to be a content creator, which is wild.
Mhm.
Yeah, I used to think I would be stuck forever, but now I feel like, I fell in love with life again. And for the first time, I can actually see my highest self so clearly. And since me and my husband reconciled, we didn't do sex, not because we don't want to. We really, really want to, but we decided to, like, what do you call it? The
Celibacy.
celibacy for 9 months. And he said that it's so healing for him too. And I feel like my sex drive come is coming back, and that's why I do my yoni practice, like my yoni egg and the the wand. Yeah. So honestly, I'm so thankful
Oh.
to you, and into Central Embodiment Method. This is truly one of the investment a woman could ever make in her lifetime, because it returns to you a thousandfold in every area of your life, like relationship, money, glow up. Yeah.
Wow. Firstly, thank you so much for sharing. And I feel like we have so much that we can unpack here because, again, like I always say it, like SEM is designed with its 5 pillars to bring a woman to reconnect to your feminine, but then to bring that into your entire reality. But what you've shared makes it so tangible, right? Like on multiple areas. Like your relationship, your body, and your health, and then your dreams, like pursuing like a whole new level of life and being like, oh my God, from a place where you started, which was like completely depressed, like on the verge of really feeling very suicidal, relationship completely crumbling. And I know when you arrived in, you were like, I'm really struggling with weight. I'm really struggling with my hormones. I'm really struggling with my bleed. Like you were skipping bleeds, your hormones were off. So let's unpack
Yeah.
each one. First, I think the most potent one I would love to talk into is the one with your marriage because I feel so many women, like affairs happen, right? Like infidelity happens, and when we make a decision of whether to stay or leave, it has to be from a place of empowerment. And it has to be from a place where you know how to navigate a future together and have the steps and the tools to actually cultivate intimacy again. And so many people just brush it over and try and have sex. And it's like, actually, you've taken such a powerful, embodied path to heal and build and cultivate sexuality and love with your partner. I'm curious how that's been for him and you together. Like, how is that feeling for you guys rekindling? Like, what were the tools you used to reconvene? And also, how is it feeling in your relationship now compared to where it was before?
we feel like starting to date again. Like we are like knowing ourselves in a different level, not a surface level, right? When I took my love language quiz, I make him took it too.
Mm.
I write my love letters to myself. I make him like I have him, read that. Also, the personality test, because that makes sense why we act this way. And before, I used to like resenting him for not doing this or for doing this. But now that I understand why, the tendencies, the personality, our like different environment that we grow up,
Mm.
and he also started to open up like his traumas, and he started to like articulate why he is that way,
Mm.
the way he is. And it is healing because it's genuine. He is not like pretending just to show me that he changed or anything like that. He is I can feel that he's accountable and he accepts, because I also explain it to him the way you explain it to me. I also explain it to him so he understand. He doesn't need to be like defensive,
Mm.
but he feels like he has space for me without judgment, that I can see him the way he is, just as he is, without expectation. And we learn how to work our differences. Like we are so different from each other. Like I am a lark, he is sorry, he is a lark, I'm an owl. He is a marathoner, I am sprinter.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot
Mm.
differences, but it's funny and it's amazing how we were able to work it out, in an amazing way without forcing it. So, and he's also like telling me he is healing from this program.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens, right? In men, I always say this to the girls, I'm like, when we rise as a woman, our man has the opportunity, often for the first time ever, to rise too. And I just want to mirror this back to you because it's so profound. Like, what happened before you joined SEM with your husband could have potentially destroyed not just your marriage, your family, and so much of your life, right? And what you've been able to navigate. And again, like, this is why I'm like so passionate. I'm like, it gives us a tool set to come into our sexual power, but also to navigate major life transitions from a place where now you can see it on your face. It's so cute, but like you guys are dating for the first time, right? Like you guys are actually
Yes.
having a whole new relationship from what could have been absolutely devastating to both of you, right?
Yeah.
Something I'm curious about, do you feel like you could have done that by yourself, or do you feel like it was through these tools that you've been able to do it?
Oh, absolutely not. Like I mentioned before, I view life so differently. I thought if I carry the load,
Mm.
not pressure him, right? If I would be the good girl, doing everything like the household, taking care of the kids, be beautiful at the same time, and support him in his job, maybe he would love me, he would appreciate me, but it blows my mind that it's just not the case.
This is
So
like,
I don't know what to do. I told you earlier, like this is the end. Like I am thinking this is the end. I don't know what else to do. I thought I did everything that I can, that the society made me believe to do, but without some, I don't know if I'm still here or if my marriage is still here.
yeah, 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 babe. And something I wanted to ask you as well, because I know you said like you're doing your yoni egg practices and your yoni wands and la la la. How is your personal sexual energy and your own feminine energy now? Like, how are you feeling in your body and your general like sex energy since being in the space? Because I know before it was like you didn't have any at all and there was like nothing. So, how is it now for you?
Maybe the reason why I don't have pleasure before is because I'm in a survival mode and there are a lot of shame, right? I cannot even look at my body without being ashamed of it, right? And like I wouldn't even also ask what I want or ask my yoni if she wants something to go in or out. You know, and it's crazy that when I learned the method, when I practiced the shaking, the Newman shake, the the yoni practice, the breast massage, the looking at yourself in the mirror in a place of compassion,
Mm.
not in a place of shame, that naturally, I think, uh, bring back my sexual pleasure because and his intimacy to me too, because he said it's hot to think about that he so want me because I told him how I do it, right? And I also like I think my masculine too finds it so hot. So that is why I naturally do it and I explored it, what feels good, what feels not. I like was able to um explore it and orgasm yeah,
Yeah,
in
baby.
multiple ways. Yeah, in multiple ways. Yeah,
I love the
I'm
shyness. You're like, yeah, that happened. But like it's so huge. Most women like don't have multiple orgasmic experiences. Like it's a huge reason women come into my space is like they're like, and I know like when you started, you were at such a 0 point with anything to the point where like the relationship had fallen apart and all the rest. And so now it's like not only are you having like multiple orgasmic experiences, like your man is like rekindled the fire and also like mesmerized by you, right?
yeah.
Wow.
And the way I eat.
I always say it. I'm like, make love to everything, but so good. And
Yeah.
I think that also you were sharing just briefly earlier that also really changed a lot with like your body itself. Because when we first started, you were like definitely struggling with hormones and just your body didn't feel itself anymore. So how has that shifted for you?
Yeah, so I found that because in the beginning, I don't really believe that yoni egg or wand will do something in my body, right? So I researched about it. I like when I hear something from you, like you will teach us how, and then I will deeply research about it, you know.
My questioner.
Yeah, and what's the scientific like explanation to this, right? And I found that we have like muscles there, right, that needs to be massaged, like our like muscle at the back or oh, okay, so I finally understand. That's why it convinced me to try it. And when I try it like a couple of days ago, my bleed like it came early, which is very good because I have been okay in my younger years. I always have regular period, but after taking contraceptive and after the stress, I became irregular. So I know this is not normal in my body, but since I practice um the yoni practice and the massage, and my body feels safer and more calm. And I and yeah, like I told you, like 2 days ago I practiced and my bleed naturally came, and I can't really believe it that it's true. And when I am massaging it, actually I can feel that it is connected to other parts of my body. Like
Mm.
when I press something, I can feel it in my feet, in my knee. I can't believe it,
I love
right?
it. It's like I've never felt orgasmic energy before. Now I'm feeling it in my feet, in my knees, but it's so powerful. Like, and just to reiterate, like when you began, like you were like 8, 10 kilos up, irregular cycles, like a lot of like no feeling in your womb. And now it's like weight loss, cycle regulated, and also just, and I always get to this, like dearmoring is one of my favorite parts because you do start to feel your orgasmic energy throughout your body on a fascial level, like it is biological, but that then emanates to your relationship, to your confidence, to, oh, so good. Okay, something else I wanted to ask, but like, oh, I just love it. I'm so proud of you, by the way, like my babies. Before you began, was there anything that like nearly stopped you from joining into the space?
Absolutely. Like I grew up a Christian.
Same girl, same.
There are like a lot of, I know that in my mind, is this real? Like, this is a sin. This must be.
Mm.
Like, what are you talking about? And also, like, before I found you, I I watched something about like yoga, and this practice is like demonic or something. So yeah, that's why I am like, should I try this? Should I join?
But it's such a huge one, right? Like sexual shame, I believe, is the number one cause for not only like bodily illness, but so much of the shadow of sex. Affairs, not
Yes.
being sexually expressed, like all of the shadows come from us being ashamed of our own bodies as women, right? Like just attuning to ourselves. So I so hear you there. I'm curious, like what made you then take the leap to join in and just give it a go?
Because like I said, I tried everything, and the only thing that it in my mind is to take my own life. So I told myself I will give this a try. Maybe it will change something. I don't know. I'll just give it a try because I already tried everything. So why not? Right. And when I also talk to you, I can feel your energy. And I thought myself that this woman will not have this kind of energy if this did not really help her real time. And I also like saw a lot of testimonial around this. So this is why like, yeah, I made a lot of investment and time, right? And it's so worth it.
But also so beautiful because I think especially women who are coming into the space, there's so many reasons why we can feel like contracted, right? It's like if we have a lot of conditioning like spirituality, sexuality, like sin, body stuff, that's a huge thing to overcome. And then equally letting yourself be safe enough to come into a space. And one of the reasons I love this, and I remember our first call, I was like, you're going to be doing one of the testimonial calls, like, don't you? But it's so beautiful because we get to share genuinely as women that we in ourselves came from a real life circumstance and we're able to actually go through a real life journey to get a real life transformation. And that whole path, and my prayer for every woman who comes into my space is that there is a safety to return home, that there is a safe container, and there's a method that normally is stuff we've never ever heard of or ever tried or ever been guided into
Yeah.
that leads you to the change and the transformation that not only makes you want to live again, but like gives you a whole new life. Like literally lets you date your husband for the first time, gives you
Yes.
like a whole experience with your own body. So thank you for sharing because I think it's huge. And I think if anyone is watching this, like tune in because I know as well when I started, shame, Christianity, like fear of the unknown was such a big one. And that shift just inside myself was the greatest decision I ever made because it does. And you said it too. It changes your business. It changes your money mindset. It changes your body weight. It changes your marital status. It changes everything for us because we shift, right?
Yeah.
Final thing I I would love you to share, and maybe just take a moment, like you can breathe into your body. I want you to imagine that watching this beautiful screen, there is another sister who is maybe on the fence for whatever reason, but she's curious to join into SEM. What would you want to say to her directly from your heart, on the most honest share, like never a pressure?
Um, I first of all, I understand you. A lot of women go through this, and this sisterhood really like changed my life, all areas of my life. And I want you to like try something, invest in yourself, because before I am not like, I will not think to invest money on myself because I don't feel like I deserve it. But I think we all deserve it. And once you invest in yourself, it will return to you thousandfold.
Mm.
And this is one of those investments that you can ever, that you have to try in your lifetime, because it will change a lot. Like, if you want to glow up, like naturally glow up, if you want to fix your relationship, to be fulfilled in life, to chase your dream, to have that goal again, this is the answer. If you don't know where to go, this is just the answer. I'm telling you.
I love you. Just the answer. That's all you need to know. Like, this is it. Just take a breath. But thank you for sharing. And yeah, my prayer too for every woman who gets to watch this beautiful space. And Tin, like, thank you for sharing your whole journey. It is the biggest prayer from my heart, from every sister who comes in this space, that if it aligns and it's right for you, to trust your calling and to know that even if you're in the darkest space and you have, where Tin was, right? Like, no sexual energy, completely depleted, hyper masculine, like burnt out, not seeing a way forward in life, that there's this beautiful path where you get to be down the line the giggly, sparkly, foot orgasming, knee orgasming, relationship building, powerful woman who's changing your business, your marriage, your health, and your future. And you're in that place of power. And from my heart to everyone, and to you, Tin, thank you for being in the space. Thank you for taking the time. And if you feel called, there will be a link below to book in a call with me. Please feel free to do so, and we can discuss your journey as well. But yeah, Tin, from my side, thank you, baby girl. Is there any final thing you would like to share, or are you feeling good, complete?
I just really, really want to thank you with all of my heart. I want to thank you for also doing this leap, for not for yourself only, but to all other women like me. Like, I'm so glad that God gave me you, and you don't know how I appreciate you, and probably all of the family knows about you. Because,
You love
yeah, it also levels up my faith in God, to be
it.
honest with you. I thought this was going to like you know, this is going to be like an opposite like way to God, but this literally made me closer to God ever. So I really, 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 really want to thank you. You changed my life forever.
Oh, I feel like emotional when I hear these, but I'm like, yes. And it was me too, right? Like, oh, I, I feel like God decided to come into this world and bring souls into this world through sex and orgasm and women's bodies and this experience. And I'm like, that reconnection is what it's about. Thank you. And I love you. And it's been such an honor to hold you. And biggest hugs, biggest kisses. And to all my girls who watched, do it for you too.
Yeah.
Lots of love, darling.